Many people struggle to truly know themselves because they really don't know what they like to do. See, a reflection of yourself is supposed to be shown through your hobbies. Your hobbies are supposed to give you a direction of figuring out, how do you truly like to dress? How do you truly like to decorate your home? How do you truly like to carry yourself? It's supposed to be shown through your hobbies, because your hobbies are supposed to be the things that you don't have any expectations on. Your hobbies are not the things that you're trying to perfect and you're trying to do them the best. Your hobbies are supposed to be things that you truly just do just because you like doing them. But the problem is, many people don't have hobbies, so they don't know what they truly like to do, so they don't know who they truly are. So a lot of people don't know that maybe they don't dress for themselves. They dress like the girls that they see on social media because they don't really know if they like that or like something else, because they never tried anything else. They don't have any hobbies. They don't know if they decorate their room like this because they truly like this color pattern, or because the newest girl that's going viral on social media is telling them this how they should decorate it. Essentially, they don't know themselves. So in this video, I'm going to give you 15 plus hobbies so you can get to know you. It's going to be essentially a creative breakthrough, so you can do things creatively without the mindset of feeling like, oh, it has to be perfect, without the mindset of feeling like someone is going to judge you. You are simply doing these things because you want to do these things. So the first one I recommend, and this is one I'm actually starting to do this year, is a junk journal. So this is a little bit different from scrapbooking. The reason why I think it's a little bit different, I think scrapbooking is a little bit more intentional. It's a little bit more like, okay, let's put this here, and this is the colorway, and this is the color pattern. A junk journal is essentially exactly how it sounds. A junk journal is you going to the movies for the first time in 3 months and you saving that movie ticket and you gluing it to a cheetah print background and you putting 3 out of 4 stars and you saying if you like the movie or not. Essentially, I look at a junk journal as a time capsule. It is not supposed to have any kind of really color coordination, and I think that's what I like about it as well, because I think nowadays everything is such perfection. Like, you have to have the perfect colorway and everything has to be together and it has to be inside the lines. The whole point of this is how you are feeling. This is when you are going on vacation to a different state or a different country and you're going to a restaurant and you're taking the card inside the restaurant and you're gluing it inside your junk journal. You're taking, a cutout of the menu and you're putting it down to put down what you ate. It's just supposed to be just junk, like just random things throughout your life that you're really just putting down as a time capsule. Because if you think about it, imagine if from 10 years ago you had a movie ticket of one of the movies that you went to 10 years ago. I don't even remember what movies I went to 10 years ago. But imagine if not only did you have a movie ticket, but then you had a rating of the movie and possibly a little bit of what you liked. And so I don't know. That's one thing I definitely recommend for a lot of people to do, because the whole point of it is supposed to be junky. And I think for some people, including myself, that's a little uncomfortable because nowadays we're so much on perfection and everything being right. But just having a place for you just to be like, I don't care. The cutout is going to be wrong. And this is going to be a little bit to this side. And it might be not enough space. And this one page is going to be cheetah print. The next page is going to be strawberry shortcake. The next page is going to be black and white. Like, I don't know. I just like the idea of that. And I think a lot of people can express themselves their own way, because the whole point of it is there's no right way to do it if they start doing junk journals. So I definitely would recommend to start doing that. The next one is culinary tourism. I think this one is important as well, because when you like something, you keep doing that thing so often, especially when it comes to food. Because a lot of times too, especially if you're anything like me, I don't know why I wait until the last minute to eat. Like, I wait till I'm like hungry. And when you're hungry, you do not want anything that's not good. Like, you don't want to try nothing new. You don't want to do nothing new because you may not like it. So one thing I recommend to start doing as a hobby is culinary tourism, because it's kind of like you're a tourist because you're going trying different kinds of food, but it can be inside your city or nearby cities, but just trying food from different cultures. I really started getting on this from Trader Joe's because they have like so many different kinds of, different country foods, but I recommend going to actual restaurants and just trying different foods from different kinds of just culinary backgrounds that you weren't used to growing up. And I think this can be a hobby as far as just doing it every so often. Another disclaimer with the hobbies, it does not have to be like something you do every single day. Even with the culinary tourism, it could be something that you do 2 times a month. And you're like, 2 times a month, I want to try a different food from a different background, from a different country. And it's just you trying new things. It's you figuring out exactly, what do I like? It's so easy to be like, oh, I don't like that kind of food, or I don't like this and I don't like that. But it's like, maybe you never had it from this culture. Maybe they cook it different. Maybe they do it different. Or maybe you don't like that at all. but I feel like it's better to know what you don't like than to be on a type time where you're like, oh, I just don't eat that and I just don't. And it's like, well, you never even tried it. So you really don't even know what you like or you dislike. Going off of that, another hobby, and this is what I've been doing more so recently myself, is cooking food from scratch. I think cooking can be a hobby as well, essentially just cooking. But if you're anything like me, I've been cooking since I was like 10 years old. So I've been cooking for almost 15 years now, and it's really not, it's just like, it's just a necessity for me. Like I cook to eat. And so now I'm starting to cook things from scratch. Now I do make like a weekly thing of bone broth because bone broth is like really good for you. It has all these benefits essentially. Next, I said I probably want to get into like bread or bagels and things like that. But I think really cooking things from scratch, it opens up, I don't know, just something creative in you because it's like you feel like you have the control over this thing and how it comes out, and you can add this flavor or that flavor, change it up. But then also, I think even your taste palette, I think nowadays we're so used to so many high processed stuff that it's crazy when you try stuff from its natural form. When you try things like made from scratch, it literally tastes completely different. And it's kind of like, dang, I've been eating this way my entire life. But also just the process that goes into it. You can cook pasta from scratch. You can cook, there's so many different things. I can go into the longest tangent, but just find out things that, especially things that you already enjoy doing. Like I already was buying bone broth, but it was kind of expensive. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I could do it myself. It is time consuming, but I think that's another part of it being a hobby. It's supposed to be something that gets you off your phone. It's supposed to be something that gets you from watching TV. So I definitely recommend to start doing that. Like start cooking things from scratch. I don't know. I think that's something that a lot of people will find to be nice. And you can start baking as well, baking from scratch. I'm not really a baker, so I probably should have put that in there too. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, baking from scratch as well. I'm more of a cooker, so that's what I'm gonna start doing. The next one is an indoor or an outdoor garden. The reason why I said indoor first is because nowadays a lot of us live in apartments. And so even me, I live in an apartment. I can't really have I don't really have too much space on my balcony to have an outdoor garden. And especially if you live somewhere where it gets cold around the winter time and you can't even have anything. Well, I think for the most part, a lot of places, it gets really too cold outside to have a lot of stuff. So I recommend people to start having indoor gardens. They have ones that kind of are vertical, which they can go all the way up, and it has like you could put the garden going around, and they have ones that are more so horizontal, and those are ones sometimes I've seen people put them on side of their kitchen counters. But I don't know, I think they always say having a green thumb is like a good sign, your ability to grow things. Also, with the amount of money that these groceries are costing nowadays, that's another benefit to it. So those are two things that, it save you money. But then also I think it's something about growing something. I don't really know. It's so crazy. I really even think there's a science behind it, like actually growing something from scratch. There are multiple benefits to it as far as like your mental health goals and different things like that. But I don't know. I definitely would just recommend to start thinking about that. A lot of people do say they want to start being more natural. A lot of people do say, they want to start making their own food and all this other stuff. But people always like, oh, I can't do it because I live in an apartment, and I can't do it because I don't have the space. And it's like you can look on Amazon and they have indoor like little housing things that you can have depending on the size of where you live, and you can start your own indoor garden. And of course, an outdoor garden as well is great if you have the space for that. And honestly, you don't need too much space. I think people think of like these big grand gardens. You really don't even need to have anything big, and I wouldn't even recommend to start with nothing big, especially if you're starting. Start with 1 to 2 herbs or plants or whatever you want to do. But yeah, I definitely would say start a garden. I feel like that could be a hobby. It's something that you have to tend to very often, water, feed, all this other stuff, and just pour love into it. The next one is air dry clay. So this is something I've seen in the past year become very popular. I've seen people make so many different things out of this. They've made cups, they've made trays, they've made chessboards, they've made so many different things. And I really recommend this because a lot of people, I don't know why, like who started this whole thing, but when people say hobbies for the girls, one of the first things people say is pottery. I don't know, like, how did that start? Obviously, if you're going to do pottery as well, that's good. But I remember my first time looking up pottery classes, they were like $100. And I was like, okay, do I even really, going back to learning from hobbies. You don't even really know if you like pottery. I mean, if you have the money to do it, but I know some people are kind of like, oh, I don't have $100, so I'm not going to do it. You could get you some air dry clay. You can make that. It's air dry, so that's good. You can paint that. And yeah, do the same exact thing as you would do for pottery. And if that's something that you really like, and you're like, I want to start doing bigger things, and I want to start doing more expansive things, of course, then you can move to pottery if that's something that you want to kind of get into. But I don't know. I feel like air dry clay is something that a lot of people can do. It's affordable, a lot more affordable, I should say, than a pottery class for a lot of people. And it's just something to try out and see if you like to do and see if it's something that, you would like to keep doing moving forward. And it just brings out a creative side to you. Going back to what I said in the beginning, there is no specific way. Like, it doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to look like that. It just has to look how you want it to look. The next one is group workouts. And sometimes when people think of hobbies, they always think of like me, myself. And I don't necessarily think that's exactly how hobbies should be, because I do think we learn from interacting with people. And I don't know, sometimes too, especially when it comes to working out, you learn your capabilities, I would say, when it comes to working out. Because I know me, when I'm in a workout class, sometimes, they be like 2 more sets left, 3 more sets left. And mentally you're like, I can't do it no more. But then when you look over to that girl next to you and you see her busting out them 2 to 3 more sets, you're like, I gotta keep going. So I don't know, it gives you a little bit more motivation. Just being there with people, you don't necessarily even have to talk to them. Of course, as time goes on, that will be nice to do, but just essentially being around people, it's just something about that just gives a sense of camaraderie. And it just gives a sense of just like, also, it gives you a sense of, going back to what I said about the hobbies and understanding you and understanding how does that work for you and like your personality and how you dress. Also, that has helped me as well, as far as like dressing wise. I'm a work in progress, but when I first started out going to some of these classes, I was very basic. Like, I'm wearing a black top now, but anyways, I would wear just like a black like Nike workout top. I would just wear some black leggings, and I'll never forget, it would be like a couple girls in my classes and they will wear actual like cute colored sets. And then that's when I start looking at the colorways they were doing and being like, oh, I kind of want to do this and I kind of want to do that. I was getting inspiration, i.e. from my hobbies. And that's another way, like just being around people who are doing what you're doing, it kind of is a reflection of you when you do the things that you do. If that makes any sense. I hope it did. But anyway, group workouts. Some of the ones that I've tried before are Pilates. I've tried Legree, which is just in a more intense form of Pilates. I've tried Bar, which is similar to Pilates, but it's on a mat and you also do it on like a ballet bar. I've tried group lifting. So some people are like, I do want to start going to the gym. I do want to start lifting, but I don't know what to do. Group lifting and all of these things I've done on ClassPass. So if you want to just try out something and see if you like it, I recommend to do ClassPass. I think they have like a month free. Another one I've done is hot yoga. That was good as well. Some of the ones that I want to do are, I want to get into pole dancing. I just feel like something about it is just sensual, and it also takes a lot of upper body strength. So, and it's just nice. I want to get into actual dancing as well. Me and my friends used to have, like on Wednesdays, we used to like dance and stuff like that. A great workout, especially if you're one of those people that like dancing in your room and stuff like that. That's a great way to work out and just, enjoy yourself. Another one I want to get into is boxing. I can't even think about it. There's this place out here where I live and they have like this intense, like, it's just like, it gives solid core vibes. If you know solid core, how the lights are dark, but then they have the blue light, it gives kind of like that vibe. I kind of wanted to get into that as well. But I don't know. I definitely recommend to look up ClassPass or just look up classes in your area that have group workouts. I think it pushes you a lot more. It makes you a lot more reliable in a sense, because you actually have to go to them because you signed up for them. And if you miss it within a certain amount of hours, they will charge you. So it kind of like pulls you on a constraint of like, you actually have to do it, because we all know, we tell ourselves we're going to go to the gym. The next morning we wake up, we don't feel good and we don't go. So I definitely would say a new hobby to start is starting to do group workouts. In the beginning, I personally recommend doing group workouts more than solo workouts, because it does keep you, contingent on doing it. It's just great to be around people, and then having someone who is trained and often licensed to be able to show you how to do things correctly, and then also being able just to push you to your limits. The next one is improv. And this one is for anybody who wants to kind of get into like public speaking, or if you like acting, or if you like anything like that creative type. I definitely recommend to start doing improv. Improv classes are basically where you're not you go on stage, or you have your classes and you're with a group of other individuals like actors and different things like that. You don't necessarily have to be an actor to do it, but you are with other actors and just other people. And the whole point of it is kind of like you're given a theme, if you will. And it's like, okay, we're going to talk about, Sherry lost her dog, and it's like improv, and you don't have a script, and everybody just has to go along with it. It's like, it's your turn, and you have to go along with this unwritten script, if you will, as if you have a script. So you have to say something on the spot. You have to think of something on the spot that makes the whole play, that makes the whole thing go together. They do have ways you could do it as far as just a class, so you don't have to do it in front of like people, but they also do have classes where you can work to do it to eventually perform. And I think this is great, one, for public speaking, because it gets you to, being around other individuals and saying things and not over dwelling on things. I think sometimes when people want to get into public speaking, they trip themselves up too much. They think too hard. It's like you got to say something on the spot. Another thing I think it helps with is your confidence. If you are an overthinker, it's very easy for you to feel like you said the wrong thing. It's very easy going back to overthinking. And when you have to say something on the spot, you just have to come up with something. Another way I definitely think this can help is just helping you essentially use your brain a little bit harder, if that makes any sense. I think often because we're scrolling on social media, we're just being there. Like we're just watching TV. Our brains really are not in use. And so being an improv, going back to what I said before, you have to think on something on the spot. But you can use context clues. So you actually have to be aware. You have to pay attention to what this person said and that person said, because you want to say something that brings everything together. You don't want to be that one person that says something and everybody's like, it was going so well. Why would you say that? That literally made no sense. I literally just said she went to the store. Why would you say she's in the bathroom? Because you weren't paying attention. So I think that's another thing. And it's just a plethora of things it definitely can help with. But especially if you're trying to get to like the entertainment space, or you just want more confidence. I don't even think it's like, I want to be an actor or actress. It could just be someone like, I want more confidence. And so you're around a group of individuals that are literally trying to do that same thing. They're trying to build their confidence and they're trying to build their skills in that communicative type area. So I recommend that as well. The next one is Legos. This is one that often I've seen popular in the past year as well. A lot of people doing like adult Legos. This is great. I actually know someone who did like the bouquet of roses, or like bouquet of flowers. It is really nice. It's really pretty. A lot of people, if you see back here, I have like this bookshelf. They put them like on their bookshelves. I've seen people make so many different things out of them. Also, disclaimer, they don't have to be the official Legos brand, because I know the official Lego brand is very expensive, but it's just that same kind of basis. If you put in this piece together, that piece together, that piece together, that's another thing that does take time, and it's just great to just sit down there and focus. It definitely helps with cognitive skills of just like piecing things together and just having the ability to start from nothing and build it into something. It's beautiful. I've seen people have entire, like I said, bookshelves. I've seen people have entire, just tables just filled with different Legos of just different things they've made. And I think, I don't know, things like that do a little bit for you as far as you being proud of yourself. Like, dang, I really built this. I really made this entire thing. So that's something that I would recommend as well. And I definitely want to start getting into. And like I said, it's great because it is time consuming. It's something that most people, I mean, it does take a few hours to finish, but if you don't have all that time, most people say, okay, I'm going to finish this tomorrow. No, you have to go back to it. And I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things people often say, like once they do one, they want to do another one. So I would recommend to look into doing that. And you can find, so when I tell you so many different kinds based upon what you want to do. The next one is maintenance. This is something that I definitely recommend for a lot of people. First and foremost, because it definitely will save you a lot of money. And then two, it is something that is, so maintenance for me is a double-edged sword, because don't get me wrong, as a woman, I do sometimes like being pampered. I do sometimes, for the most part, like things being done for me. But also at the same times too, I think maintenance gives you a little bit more of your own creativity and your own way about doing things, because it is a thing of being like, okay, I know how I like to have my hair done. I know how I like to have my nails done. And I know some individuals who are like, I just like doing my nails. Like it's all, I think sometimes too, when people think of maintenance, they're like, well, I don't do hair. I don't do nails. I don't do lashes. I don't do, and it's like, you don't necessarily have to do that thing. Like it's not a thing of you offering your services on Instagram, like, oh, book with me. No, but you could just do these things for you and perfect them for you. And I think when you know how to perfect a maintenance piece for yourself, that is the best feeling, because the worst feeling is when you pay someone to do something and they mess it up or they don't do it the way you want to do it. So imagine being able to do your nails the way you like them every single time, your hair, your lashes, your everything. And like, also disclaimer, it doesn't have to be every single thing. It could just be specific things. But I definitely would say that can be somewhat of a hobby, especially when you start getting better at it. In the beginning, it doesn't feel like a hobby. It really feels like a chore. But when you start getting better at it, I promise you, it feels like a hobby, because it's like, oh my gosh, how do I want to do my nails next? And how do I want to do my hair next? And like, it gives you that creative control behind things, contrary to you just going to someone and then you just hoping them, kind of like when they have the picture, they be like, what I asked for versus what I got. You hoping that you get what you asked for. So I would recommend doing that one, or starting to do that one as well. The next one is a visual journal or a audio journal. And so going back to what I said before about the junk journals, just documenting, maybe it's just me, I'm very big on documentation. I'm just very big on, for a plethora of reasons, just remembering things. I think it helps you as far as moving forward, not going through things again. I think it's also a great way to just look at to where you came from. I think it's so easy to be down on yourself about things you're going through, but then not seeing where you went from. And then also, maybe it's just a creative side of me. I just like documenting things in a creative way that's not necessarily always in my videos. Disclaimer, I do talk a lot about the importance of journaling, but for some people that's boring. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're in the 21st century, it's 2025. Like, for some people, just sitting down and writing is boring. And so that's why I said the junk journal earlier, but then also a visual or audio journal. So the visual, it could be a YouTube. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you have to be a YouTuber. I think sometimes too, when you think of yourself as being a YouTuber, it puts too much pressure on you. Like, honestly, you can not even necessarily like put your videos out there. The videos can be private, but for you, it's a way for you to go back and you can see, and you can going back to what I said before. You're like, you're making a video, you're in a car, yeah, I'm going to the movies, I'm about to see so and so, we're gonna see how we like it. Then you leave the movie, you're recording. So the movie actually was not that good. The main character kept doing so and so and so and so and so and so. And yeah, I paid about this amount of money for the popcorn, this amount of money for you get what I'm saying? Just literally journaling, but it's a visual thing of you being able to see it. You put it together in a little montage, you post it on YouTube. If you want to become a YouTuber, that is a great thing to do as well, as far as a hobby. But I think sometimes too, it goes too much into being a pressure, because when you start posting it, then you expect views. And then when you expect views, you have expectations, and you're trying to go back to being perfect. Oh, I need to edit like this, to edit like that. When you don't really have the expectation on it, and you're really like, I'm just posting this as a visual journal. I don't even want people to see this, or they don't even have to see it. You literally just do it for you. And then that's when you start getting better and getting more creative. But it's for you. Also, an audio version, kind of like a podcast as well. For some people, maybe they're like, I don't really want to do all that. So maybe at the end of every single night, but you could do it very similar to create a podcast. It's free. And this is great to do it. I say always upload it, because I don't have all that storage on my phone, and you probably don't either. So just keeping all this stuff on your phone can just, eat up a lot of storage and then possibly get lost. So with the podcast one, you literally just get you a podcast little mic. You don't have to record it. And literally the end of every single night for like 5 to 10 minutes, just talk. Just talk. Like, okay, so this is what's been going on with me. That's what's going on with me. This, this. Title it, upload it, boom. And so you can go back to it 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years later and be like, oh my gosh, this what was going on. Oh my gosh, that's what was going on. Very similar to a journal. So I think that's something that a lot of people would benefit from, having a visual or a audio journal. The next one is reading, but reading as if you are watching a TV show and or a movie. I think sometimes too, when people think about reading, they always think about like the self-help, the self-growth, how can I improve myself? And though those books are good as well, and I always do recommend those in a lot of my videos, reading books for entertainment has literally become my obsession. I've been talking about it in some of my videos lately to the point where I have Kindle Unlimited on my iPad. Y'all, I literally have to let my iPad die sometimes because I'm so addicted. Because I read books that are very similar to TV shows and or movies I will watch. And I don't know if you guys ever heard this before when people say like, oh, the book is always better than the movie. It is. It always is. Any book you read will always be better than the movie. But the reason why, and people don't say specifically why, is because you get the thoughts of the character. So you really get what's going on. So for example, in a movie, it'll have two characters just walking past each other and it'll just be like, okay. In the book, she'll be like, oh my gosh, is he gonna walk towards me? Oh my gosh, he's gonna walk toward me. I brushed past him and it felt like electricity. I feel like in this moment, like I really loved him or something like that. But in the movie, you just watching them brush past each other. So you don't even really know you get what I'm saying, what's going on. The books give so much detail. The books, you get each character thoughts. You get this person being like, oh my gosh, I looked at her for too long. I didn't even know I was looking at her. I couldn't even see. But in the movie, he just stared at her. So you think he want her. You get what I'm saying? If that makes any sense? Hopefully it does. Nonetheless, I recommend people to start reading books that are movies and or, TV shows you would like. Like, stop feeling like it has to be boring. Stop feeling like, no, you like thriller movies, read thriller books. You like romance, read romance. I am on a romance buff right now. Like, I literally, it's actually really bad. But that's like one of my favorite hobbies to do. And yeah, I definitely recommend to do that one. And also, disclaimer, well, not disclaimer, you also can start doing book clubs with your friends. So maybe if y'all have like a book y'all want to read one month, y'all do like a weekly check-in or something like that. That also can be an interactive way to do it with other people as well. The next one is to start attending events. This one is one that I think a lot of people don't do. I think nowadays it's a thing of like you having to be invited to something or you having to necessarily already have prior interest in something. And I don't think it necessarily always has to be like that. A website I definitely recommend is something called Eventbrite. And they will show you local events that's inside your area. And they have so many different categories from hobbies to entertainment to food to festivals, like so many different things inside of your area. And some of them are free, some of them are paid, but literally just doing that. I went on there like 2 days ago and they had a paint and debate. I don't even know what that is. But if you're into debating, I promise you that probably sounds good. Like debating and I don't know, but it just be stuff like that, like stuff you would never think about that is going on in your area. And I think a hobby that many people need to start doing is going outside. Going to things, going to events, i.e. figuring out what you like and what you truly don't like. And that's why I recommend to like something like Eventbrite. Maybe they have something else in your area. I just know Eventbrite is something that it's a website where they will show you just put in your zip code and they will show you things in the surrounding area. But it has so many different things going on that you may never know about. So many different things, classes and courses and just so many different things. So I definitely recommend to start doing that as a hobby. Kind of like a date, like scheduling it, like, okay, Friday I'm gonna do this, or this day I'm gonna do that. But I think that's a great hobby to start having, of just like trying new things, like just, or it could be a consistent class that you start going to, whatever the case may be. But I don't know, I think that's a big one too that a lot of people miss upon, like really learning themselves, is because you keep going back to the food, you keep doing the same stuff all the time because you convince yourself this is what I like. But like, how do you know if you like that if you never tried anything else? So start going to events. The next one is punch needle. This is where people create like the rugs. I don't know if you guys have seen people create like the rugs, or if on a very smaller form, people also have create like little coffee, not mugs. The things you sit your coffee on. I'm gonna remember after this video. I hate when it happens. But anyway, long story short, punch needling is when they have like, if you do it on a bigger form, if you ever seen somebody do it for like a rug, it's like this giant square and you just like punch through it, and it's kind of like you trace it. If anything, like it will be like a design on there. You kind of trace the design with whatever color you like or whatever you like, and then that is how you will create a rug when it's done. A smaller version is like a smaller square essentially, and you just punch through it with this needle that has a yarn or something connected to it, and then you can make like just something very small and cute. But I don't know, I think that's something that's fun and interactive. Those are also classes that sometimes people have because they don't want to buy the whole machine themselves, so you possibly can look for a class in your area that does punch needling, and it's just really cute. You can make a rug for yourself, or you could make a rug for a friend or a family member. But I just think that's so cute, going back to like the creative type thing of just like, it's no expectation upon it. Like you can create a tree and it could be a pink tree with purple leaves. You can create, you know, anything you want to. And I think that's just so cute. And especially being able to just have it inside of your home. Going back to what I said before, your hobbies are a reflection of the things that you do and how you put things together. And someone going into your home and just seeing that rug on the ground, it's kind of like a representation of like, yeah, this is me essentially. This is what I created and this is what I like. So I definitely would start thinking about looking into punch needling. The next one is jewelry making. One thing I've definitely been into lately is kind of like the charm bracelets, the charm necklaces, possibly because growing up I was a Pandora girly, so I just have something with charms. But I don't know, I think making your own jewelry can be cute as well. I like charms, and this is, maybe I do have like this obsession with like memories and different things like that, but I've always liked the Pandora bracelets because when people would give you a charm, it would mean something. So people would give you like that little hat and it would mean, oh, congratulations, you know, you graduated from the 5th grade, or it will be your birthday and you're going to Disney and you get a Disney charm. So I don't know, I kind of like those. But any jewelry of any kind, honestly, I feel like it's really cute. Going back to the creativity, it's something that you can wear. It's a reflection of who you truly are. And I don't know, it's just this thing of really starting things from scratch and being able to build them and make them yourself. Because I think it happens to all of us. You will see a bracelet, you will see a ring, you will see something, and you're just kind of like, oh, that would be so cute if they put the gold here and the silver here. That would be so cute if that was pink and that was green. And just imagine if you can do that yourself. So that's definitely one I would recommend, is start jewelry making. The next one is creating your own outfits. If you are around my age, you probably heard of something called Polyvore before. I was obsessed with that like app. Nowadays we kind of see it on Instagram when people have like the white backgrounds and then they have like color, not colors, they have like clothing on it, and it's like, oh, outfit inspiration. That's really what Polyvore was before they are using what they're using now. Now they may be using like Shoplook, or Canva is another one too to create it on there. But especially for those people that are into fashion, especially for those individuals who are very like, you see outfits, you're like, I don't really know if I like this, I don't really know if I like that type thing. Like if you look outside and you see stuff like that, start creating your own outfits on Canva or Shoplook. I definitely recommend that. One, because it is time consuming in a way of like, yes, we like scrolling on social media. Yes, we like seeing things, but also you're able to turn the things you see into specific things for you. So it's like, you can see this one girl wear these boots. You see another girl wear this top. You see another girl, and you're like, in your mind, you're able to put all these things together and create your own version of it. Another great thing is, when you start creating those and having like your own folders and stuff for them, you can have like a going out folder, you can have a dinner folder, all this other stuff. Imagine having all of those, and every time you go out, all you have to do is look at your folder. You don't even have to worry about, oh my gosh, what am I going to wear? What am I going to look at your folder? Okay, I need to get this jacket. Okay, I need to get this. You don't have to have all of those things as well. It could just be inspiration. But I don't know. I think more people need to start doing that. And this sounds a little shady. Maybe this is shady. Okay. But I think if more people start doing stuff like that, like people who say they want to be fashion designers and they want to be into fashion, we would get different looks. I feel like nowadays the popular looks feel like they all look the same. Like everybody's making the Skims type, you know, two-piece set. Everybody's making that jogger two-piece set. And I feel like it's a thing of people just seeing what's working for other people and they're just trying to recreate it. But I feel like if you really call yourself a fashion creative, you should be able to sit down and create your own outfits. And also, you don't have to be like a fashionista, but just creating your own outfits. I just feel like that's so cute. Yeah, going back to the time consuming, it's a great way to spend your time, and actually will save you time. That's one that would definitely save you time moving forward, because like I said, you don't have to worry about trying to look for outfits if you already have those. The next one is mixology. This one doesn't always have to be alcohol. It definitely can be alcohol, but I feel like everyone knows that person or those people who like can make really good drinks, but like they don't really take it seriously, but they'll mix this and they'll mix that and the grape and the this and the strawberry, and it will just taste so good. And I think if you're one of those people or you've thought about it before, and like I said, it doesn't always have to be with alcohol, but it can as well if you're 21 plus, look into mixology and start figuring out, you know, different drinks and stuff like that to mix. I think some people really like that, and you can just be that girl. Like that could be your party favorites for the party, you know, when people are having stuff like, oh, I'll make the drinks and I'll, you know, make this and I'll make that. There's some people that really like doing that. So I definitely think about, you know, looking into mixology, just seeing if you like it, and it could just be you making up your own drinks and mixing flavors and different things like that, if that's something that you're into. The next one is junk case things. This one is one that's become very popular lately. It was very popular when I was like early high school, late middle school, like the junk cases. Now they're starting to make them for everything. When I was younger, it was just the phone cases. Now I've seen junk, the Air Max or AirPod cases, those little cases, but also the ones that you put on your ears. I've seen laptops, I've seen iPads, I've seen phones, of course. And I don't know, I think that's another creative one too, because the whole point of it is to be junk. And in this video, I mentioned a lot of like the junk journaling and the junk this. I like the junk sometimes too, because I feel like I said earlier, everything nowadays is so polished. Everything nowadays is so like, you have to be nice and it has to be cute. But I don't know, I feel like the junk is literally like just your version of just what I like. I feel like it's the ultimate form of creativity. I like this, I like this, I like that. I like this design, I like this design, I like that pattern. And it's just like you just putting things together. But I recommend to start doing that. And you literally can junkify anything. I've seen people do them for everything, but just start making junk cases. Anything that has a case, anything that has a cover, just buy different kinds of, you know, assortments that you can put on. And I would recommend to do that as well. The next one is coloring books. I feel like this is one that I've definitely been doing lately, but it's one that definitely just from as a child, if you're anything like me, you're so used to coloring the lines and everything specific, and the tree has to be green and the sky has to be blue. But I don't know, I feel like it's another thing of being creative when you're making a coloring book and you're just like, I'm just making anything the way I want it to be. I'm just making it look anywhere I want it to be. I don't know, but I think becoming an adult and doing adult coloring books is very therapeutic, and it's just something that I've definitely been liking and I've definitely been enjoying. And the final one that I will give you guys is, this is more of a personal one, but it's two things. Anything from your childhood that you were not able to do, or anything from your childhood that you did like. I think this is imperative because when it comes to our hobbies, they are a part of us. They're a reflection of us. And I think sometimes too, when we get to a certain age, it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore because I'm at a certain age. And so for example, for me, I never learned how to swim. So now like one thing I want to do this summer or this upcoming time period is learn how to swim. There's some things from childhood. Maybe your parents didn't let you roller skate, or you couldn't afford roller skates. Maybe you couldn't play, you know, an instrument. I think doing that will often nurture your inner child, which is good. But then maybe there's something you did do when you were a child and you like I used to do coloring books with my mom. I used to do puzzles with my mom. And so I like doing those things now. But those are two personal things that I recommend everyone to start thinking about. Like, what from your childhood were you not able to do or you didn't get to do? And, you know, you felt like now you're too old, or something that you did like doing, but you just stopped doing it because you felt like you were too old. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also comment below any hobbies that you were thinking about doing or that you want to start doing, or any hobbies you heard in the video that you're like, okay, I definitely think I want to start doing that one.